The Strengthening Networks for Greater Impact, STEACH, is a project that kicked off in 2019 in Nairobi, Kenya. It is an initiative that was and is being implemented by FEMNET, the African Women's Development and Communications Network, in partnership with Oxfam. 13 partners from 7 countries were privileged to be implementing partners. These countries were Kenya, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Mauritius, Mali, Tunisia, and DRC. The main objective of this initiative was to strengthen the institutional and operational capacities of women network organizations for coordinated actions at global, regional, and national levels. The STEACH program in Mauritius has 2 partners who are Mauritius Council of Social Service, MACOSS, and Cercle de Dame Mourides, CDM. The first one we will look at is MACOSS, which is an umbrella organization for NGOs in Mauritius. It works closely with the Ministry of Gender and other NGOs to advance women's rights and gender equality. The second one is CDM, which works at the grassroots level with community-based organizations to strengthen capacities of NGOs, CBOs, and religious organizations in towns and villages on women's rights to health.
For the campaign itself, we did do research on press articles first, press articles on gender-based violence and on social media. Then what we found was that the press only, it just gives the tips of the iceberg. They just, the articles are in press just when the woman is dead or it's at the extreme, but they don't go to the causes and everything. It's just sensational. And we also did focus group with the victims and survivors, which was not reported, like gender-based violence with the elderly, with the handicap, and all these are not reported. So they don't know the glimpse. They just have the glimpse of it. That's why they don't have the right policy to treat the matter. So we campaigned on that, and we also did a short film competition with the students. We involved the youngsters so that they can give us the solutions for that, get them involved in the subject. And we got 31 short films for this project. It was really nice, and they were all involved, and they now know the subject.
So we have been meeting the stakeholders, various stakeholders like the government, private sector, industries, individuals, and institutions. So we have been working with all these partners to push forward the idea of violence and harassment in the new context, specifically in the place of work. And STEACH has been a catalyst in this project, which has encouraged us through its financing and through our matter of how I would say the experiences that have been shared with different partners as to how to discuss, to put in focus the things that concern women and men and girls. We have also been involved with the Man-to-Man project, etc. So on Man-to-Man, we have tried to influence policymakers like the politicians, CEOs, the police force, and all those people who take decisions and craft policy of the country, which comes in terms of law, legislations, etc. So we met all the stakeholders to try to put them before their responsibility in terms of achievement with regard to women equality in the society. So what we have been doing is we have been sharing the work of different institutions with each other in the society. And we have noticed that each organization, institutions, government, private sector, they were working in silo type. So we had punched some holes so that we could connect one institution with the other, and then we discovered so many things that the country is doing, but it's not reaching the population, and especially those women and girls who need those information. So the Man-to-Man project was a proper project where we met the decision makers and we explain to them the necessity for men to get involved in issues concerning harassment, reproductive health, and all these issues that concern women and girls, well, in the society. Because the civil society is there to implement the decisions of the policymakers. So we met the policymakers to make them realize the importance of this issue. So Stitch has been instrumental in encouraging more men taking responsibilities to implement projects with a special focus on gender and women and girls.
The challenge was worldwide, the COVID pandemic. It was really worldwide because it delayed our project, and we wanted to do in mass. So with the COVID, we just have small groups, but it was qualitative. We couldn't go everywhere because just 50 people for the workshops. There's not too many things, staff and everything. So it was a challenge, and also the funding also is a challenge, because we got funding, but we need to look for sponsors.
The first thing is the lack of communication, the communication issues. We have seen that the policymaker, they make policy decisions, the law comes, but when it comes to implementation at the grassroots level, the information doesn't go. So where the bridge, the NGOs, like we as the MACOSS, we acted as the bridge. So we bridged the decision makers' decisions, the law, etc., to the grassroots. So we ensured that the information went to the people so that they could take advantage of the things that the government and the institutions are doing. This was the first challenge that we met. The second challenge was about capacity building and education, because we still have stigmatization, we think differently, and at times the way we prioritize the issues that concern human beings in terms of rights and in terms of benefits is very vast. So the work of the NGO, and especially MACOSS, has been to streamline the activities in such a way so that we facilitate this coordination between the two partners, the policymakers and the beneficiaries. Other thing that we have faced is money. Funding is a big problem in Mauritius, because Mauritius does not benefit from direct funds from many organizations. So we rely upon funding like Stitch project. We rely on funding coming from one or two very meager organizations, because we don't get direct funds. And it's very difficult to work with these little funds to make a big impact. So when we speak of MACOSS work, MACOSS works at the national level. And at the national level, if we want change in the society, we need to make an impact with our work. And this has been a real challenge.
Thanks to the Stitch project, now we have moved from a bit more professional. We have now our HR human resource manual, all our finance and procurement manual, our strategy plan. We have had a lot of visibility in press, media, social media, and the films were broadcasted in the national TV for 2 weeks, 2 whole weeks, which was also a broadcast on the Facebook and social media. Had a lot of visibility for the during this project, and even Femnet is known now in our country through all these activities. So that we became professional, we had visibility, and now we have partners coming to us. They want to have their workshop, they want to partner with us. The networking is really, it has been very large through these projects. Yeah.
First thing, this project has enabled us to make our work become more visible. So we have enhanced our website, where our members, like these NGOs, they can now publish their work, and this visibility is not only local, it's international, it's on the web. This is the first thing. We streamlined and harmonized our vision, our objectives, where we have put more emphasis on the work that should be done with regard to equality and inclusion when it comes to gender and women. The other thing, we have developed a set of code of ethics so that we work in such a way where we align our work with the objectives, with the law and the parameters. Remind you that Mauritius has ratified a number of conventions, has a number of memorandum of understandings. We at the level of the society, civil society, the work we do is to ensure that we enforce those agreements. And this has been a wonderful challenge that MACOSS has been going through. Then the other thing is that we have been able to connect with people. We have been able to connect with the grassroots. And that is wonderful, because now people are coming to us when they need such information. And that's a good job that is being done. So I think in the whole we have achieved loads of things, but more so we have been able to influence policymakers for the benefit of the beneficiary, like the women and girls, in terms of legislation drafting. We are ensuring that when legislations are being drafted, things are coming in the right way, words are being put in the right way.